Alright guys, today we'll be doing something a little bit different. We are going to be playing a little bit of Darkest Dungeon. I'm going to try and do something akin to like a tutorial, I guess. More or less. I think this is a good game to help people understand how difficult turn-based RPG mechanics should be overcome. This is a game that is a very good example of that. So I'm gonna probably just take us through the first boss, but I'll be showing characters that I don't use normally and just general strategies I don't typically use here, just as a way to kind of show the thought process that goes into it.
You will arrive along the old road. It winds with a troubling serpent-like suggestion through the corrupted countryside, leading only, I fear, to ever more tenebrous places. There is a sickness in the ancient pitted cobbles of the old road, and on its writhing path you will face viciousness, violence, and perhaps other damnably transcendent terrors. So steel yourself, and remember there can be no bravery without madness. The old road will take you to hell, but in that gaping abyss, we will find our redemption.
And of course, I'm not gonna talk over the cutscenes if I can avoid it. That thing in the corner should hopefully go away in a couple seconds here. It's kind of annoying, but Discord overlay updates are not typically fun and result in things like this. In fact, the entire time I was playing, that was there. But it disappeared in the recording, so we should be okay. I guess this game is pretty overwhelming to people that aren't used to managing things like damage over time and percentages to even inflict certain attacks. As if you don't understand how those things work in this game, it will prove vital and you will die. A lot. Oh, and it went away. Perfect. We have Reynold and Dismas here. Dismas. The two heroes you always start with. Do your best to keep them alive.
The hamlet is just ahead.
So, if they do die, it's not that big of a deal, to be completely honest. As early game, a lot of units are going to die very quickly and very easily because you don't know what you're doing. Open vein there is a good move, especially on the highwaymen, as it inflicts
Great is the weapon that cuts
some
on
bleed
its
damage.
own.
This first little area, the old road, is a little bit misleading, as it kind of leads you to believe that most enemies
Leave nothing
will be able
unchecked.
to be
There is much
blood
to be found in forgotten places.
or have bleed inflicted. However, the first couple missions will take place in the ruins where you can't bleed skeletons.
Send these vermin a message.
But we'll see
The
that
rightful owner has returned,
in a little bit.
and their kind is no longer welcome.
I was actually having a little bit of difficulty with this fight, but you'll kind of see what I do here. Big miss by Dismas. They're gonna get shot because of course they will, and debuffed because that's just how this game is. It's all about buffs, debuffs. Battlefield awareness is huge. The Highwayman is one of those classes that it's better in slot 2, but in times of distress, or even if you want him to, you can very easily keep him in slot 1, though his current loadout is not really equipped for that. We resisted the bleed, which is good. And Open Vein is a good move because it keeps adding that bleed per round. Or per turn, I should say. Stuns are nice because they will stun an enemy for a turn. There's some characters like the Bounty Hunter which can take advantage of a stun and do even more damage. However, after a successful stun, the opponent is less likely to be stunned the next turn. Corpses can be kind of intimidating if you're new to the game. However, once you get a little bit of a team going, and once you start getting characters that, well, there it didn't really matter, but once you start getting characters that can clear corpses, they become much less threatening and much less intimidating. Most of the time I just leave them. And of course you're going to want to continue adventuring to try and get whatever's in his chest. This time I got Blight. Not a great chest, but oh well. I'm tabbing out because that Discord thing was still there. But it wasn't actually a problem. See what we got. Resilient and Beast Slayer. Quite nice, quite nice.
Welcome home, such as it is.
Our first trip to the hamlet.
These corrupted lands, they are yours now, and you are bound to them.
Yes, we will be spending a lot of time here. And for now, it is mostly closed, but
covered in the
we will get a good look at it later.
Awaiting
we have the graveyard.
Oblivion. Trinkets and charms gathered from all the forgotten corners
This place
of
will
the
fill
earth.
up as heroes die.
In time, you will know the tragic extent
The
of
Nomad
my
Wagon,
failings.
so you can buy trinkets.
Women and men, soldiers and
And the ancestors'
outlaws,
memories.
fools and corpses. All will find their way to us now that the road is clear.
Of course, we have the Stagecoach here. Stagecoach here, my apologies.
What better
This is where we're gonna get new
laboratory than
heroes.
the blood-soaked battlefield?
The ancestors' memories is where we look at.
A sister of battle, pious
Where
and
we look at what
unrelenting.
once was. You will always have a Vestal and a Plague Doctor here the first time you come. I do not normally use Vestals. So I am quite unfamiliar with how they work. However, that is not necessarily a problem. As just there, I was looking at his moves, or her moves. And we'll take a little bit more of an in-depth look here in a second. Knowing what moves you're going to go into a dungeon with is very valuable, as it will determine what positions your characters will be in for most of the match, or most of the dungeon. So this is what we're going with. And we're going to kind of play around with the names there, because as you saw, this team is called the Red Hook. I was determining if Hand of Light was something that was worth keeping the Vestal in slot 2, but I ended up not doing that, as Dismas is better in slot 2. However, if the Vestal does show up in slot 2 later on, it's not that big of a deal. And here you're looking at the names: Red Hook, Tricky Glory, the usual suspects. That changes depending as to who is there and in what order they are in.
The cost of preparedness, measured now in gold, later in blood.
And here, this is a short quest, so we're just going to take a little bit of food, a couple torches, a couple shovels, and a couple keys probably. Yeah. That's pretty standard for what you're going to want when you do go into the dungeon. Get some holy water here. What the hell, why not? Those we can use on different items in a dungeon to purify them so they can be looted. And this is going to be the first dungeon, which I think almost always has a very similar layout. That's kind of a continuation of the tutorial.
If only treasure could staunch the flow of otherworldly corruption.
Wonderful. Otherworldly corruption indeed. A couple of bone soldiers here. Nothing too big. They're bone rabble, I suppose. Not much of a difference. Try and get some blight. Yep, that'll take care of him on his first move. So now we just need to focus on the second one, who is now stunned.
Unforgiving.
See if Reynold can just get the kill. And of course he can.
Momentum.
What a champion.
Push on to the tasks.
Deus Vult, my friend. Get another shovel. 'Cause why not?
Even the cold stone seems bent on preventing passage.
Find some rubble here. Use a shovel. And if you don't use a shovel, it'll take health and a little bit of stress, as well as torchlight from your heroes. We're gonna go into straight into another combat here. Use some poison gas there. Add some blight. See if we can get a stun in back. We can. Perfect. Dismas is gonna probably take a shot at all of them. He is. Debuffs all around. And let's see if we can accuse them of
Slowly,
something.
gently.
Yes. Perfect.
This is
Wonderful.
how a life is taken.
Indeed, my friend. Indeed. A lot of battles take a lot of time with very little end result. However, even simple battles like this could result in a party wipe if you are unprepared.
Secrets and wonders can be found.
We're taking
in
a
the
look
most
there at
tenebrous corners of this place.
what the torches can do. The darker it is, the higher you have loot chances.
Terrors
However,
may
the higher
indeed
chance
stalk
that
these
you will be
shadows,
crit.
But yonder, a glint of gold.
And monsters will do more damage and be more accurate in the dark. Of course, your chance to crit is also increased in the dark.
fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
Get the kill there. Couple little bits of treasure. Get some torches, light it up a little bit. As that increases our dodge scouting. I generally keep it at 3 or 4 light levels. Curios are typically better.
Finding the
Then
stuff
treasure
is only the
as
first test.
gold is something
Now
that
it must be
will be
carried
abundant
home.
as the game is played. Light it up a little bit before we go into combat. Trying to take out the people in the back lines is typically a good idea right away, as they will be dealing damage and adding stress to your heroes, which is less than ideal.
Grievous injury. Palpable.
And of course, your frontline combatants typically have a hard time reaching them. So it is often a good thing, a good idea to have your back 2 heroes
Devastating
be
blow.
capable of distant combat of some form. And your front 2 heroes, more often than not, are taking care of the front 2 rows. I'm gonna go try and poison him. It was decent, but he survived with 1 HP, which is pretty rough. We're gonna take the heal on Dismas. Ooh, lucky heal.
Executed with impunity.
Luck is important, however, strategy
Press this
is far
advantage.
more important,
Give them no quarter.
and will often determine the results of battle.
As victories mount, so too will resistance.
Luck is merely a thing with which you can blame your failures. However, you will rarely thank luck for your victories. As unfair as that is. We're going to check who here has the highest trap percentage. Dismas is 50%, 20, 10, and 20. So Dismas will be attempting to disarm the trap. The more capable, the higher your trap percentage, the more likely that traps will be avoided if you cannot see them, or you do not know that they are there. Reynold here is going to steal quite a bit of loot. What a bastard. That's it, Reynold. I might have to fire you. Probably not. I'm gonna need you. Just don't steal from me again. You son of a bitch. Then he has the gall to eat my food. What a bastard. Coming up on the last room here. We have plenty of shovels. Restore a little bit of health here. One obstacle in the way. I'm gonna shovel that right out. Keep on moving. Of course, if you want to see what the torches do, you can read it yourself. I'm looking at it quite often enough. Turns out lighting those torches was effective, as we got the enemy with surprise. And we're going to blight the back too. Get some damage per turn going. Make them a little bit less threatening.
Compassion is a rarity in the fevered pitch of battle.
Lucky heal there. Good dodge there by Dismas. And he does it again. What a G. Can't go for a third, unfortunately. But that's okay. It didn't really do that much to him. 3 damage. And he avoids being moved. Ooh, big 5 damage there.
Formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
Grape shot blast there. And that basically guarantees us a victory here. His last attack was a big 5 on Reynold, but as you can see here, it doesn't matter. They're both blighted and will die, even if I didn't attack them. Big 1 heal on there.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
And we're gonna just get a nice little kill there. 2 damage. And use the key, get all the treasure, and get out of there. Good 6k there we got. Plenty of heirlooms. Take a look what we got here. Dismas. Claustrophobia. Phantosme. Clumsy. Clotter. And Aubert got hard skinned. Which, altogether, not too bad. Not great, but not too bad.
The tents are pitched,
Going back to the
banners
hamlet here.
fly, and the corpse wagons stand at the ready. The circus has come to town.
Butcher's Circus is now opened up for us. And we're gonna take a look at that
Fresh
a good
kegs,
little bit later once
cards,
we've at least
and
taken care of the
curtained
first
rooms
boss.
Promise solace to
Probably
the
take a
weary
look at
and
it.
broken alike.
On my other account,
The
let's take a look at
cobwebs
that.
have been dusted, the pews set straight. The abbey calls to the faithful.
The Abbey and the Tavern are both where you will send your heroes.
The raw strength of youth may be spent, but
Once
his
they
eyes
are
hold the secrets of 100 campaigns.
stressed out.
To those with a keen eye, gold gleams like a dagger's point.
Grave Robber is a class that I rarely use. And we'll be taking a look at next time. This is just where I'm going to end off here, as we got a good little bit into the game. And I think that was a good little example to show off, more or less, the overall themes and things that you'll have to think about while playing. With that, I'm going to leave you all and bid you all a good day. I hope you enjoyed, and I will try and get another video of the next foray into a dungeon pretty soon for you. I just wanted to get something out as I was thinking about it. So, there you are. Stay tuned for the next video, and peace out.